just say goodbye? Would you let it ride? Hello, good morning, good evening. How's everybody doing? I hope all is well. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I gotta take off my glasses. People telling me I look like people I don't even look like. So I gotta switch it up on you. But what's happening? What's good? I'm doing great. Money's good, family's good, health good. Sometimes it be like that. But welcome in. If you're new here, thanks for following. Thanks for being here. If you're not, make sure you're following. Make sure you're liking the video. I'm streaming over all social media platforms, two Facebook accounts, YouTube, a Twitch, Twitter, and an Instagram account. So and on YouTube. So if anybody says anything other, I don't have a lot of accounts. I always get people messaging me talking about how many accounts do I have. Generally, you only see me on one account. And if you want to head over from YouTube, if you want to head over from all them other social media platforms, click the link in the bio. First, sign up for the free class. I have a free webinar that's I try to do it every Wednesday, but I just turn it on and just try to show up. But if it's not a lot of people in there, I'll just cancel it. But I always try to be host a Wednesday class and talks about if you want to ever get into like coaching, mentorship, credit, investing, buying a business, buying cash flow producing assets, storage units, Airbnb. If you want to get into buying a business, if you want to get into real estate, wholesaling, bird dogging, syndication, uh, Section 8, Sub 2, any of that stuff, we talk about all that type of stuff. So if you're ever interested in that, just come through and go to the free webinar, link in the bio, or go to therichgetricher.com and you can search that way, which the website never works. You have to put like HTTPS or whatever that crap is. I don't know. I ain't worried about it. Anyways, so subject of the day, I guess, is somebody asked me about a IUL, life insurance policy. And you know what I think about that? Why don't I like life insurance policies that are IUL? So I'm gonna kind of break it down and I'm gonna kind of get through it, but I don't want to talk about this hard subject too much. But ILU is an insurance policy that you pay into, and then once you pay into it for so many years, then you can produce cash back or you can get cash back on your policy. Which I kind of see the benefit or the reason why it can be so enticing because a lot of people feel like, man, I gotta have life insurance, and if I paying for life insurance and it pays me or let me borrow money against it in the future, then I'm not pretty much just throwing my money away. Almost like car insurance. I hate life insurance or car insurance because I feel like you're just throwing your money away. You put your money into it, and if you don't have a rate, you don't get your money back, which is kind of bull crap. But IULs is you put your money into the system, and after so much time, you can pay into you get your money back. Okay, that's that insurance policy, right? But I'm gonna talk about some other insurance policies before I move forward, so we can kind of learn. You have what's called term insurance, and you have whole life. Term life insurance covers a term on a predetermined amount. So let's say if you wanted term life insurance for 10 years or 5 years or 8 years or 15 years or 20 years, it's over that amount of section. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. So for example, let's say if you had term life insurance and your term life insurance policy is over 10 years. Term typically is 10 years, so I like to use the term 10-year thing, right? So it only covers over that 10 years. So if you're 25, when you're 35, the insurance policy expires. So you can either renew it for another 10 years or you can just be done with it. Also, then you have what's called whole life. It's exactly what it sounds like. It's over your whole life. So whenever you buy the insurance policy, if you buy it at 25, you keep it until you die. Okay? So, it's pretty self-explanatory. You buy it, you keep it your whole life. When you die, your kids or whoever get a policy. Okay, so with that being said, you have those three policies. You got one that you pay into, and in the future you can borrow against it as like a loan to yourself. The other one is just stays your whole life, and then the other one is term over a certain amount of time. So let's start talking about the prices of some of these, because that is one of the deciding factors on which one I'm gonna do. Let's say if you get term life insurance, you're 25, I'll say 30 years old, 30-year-old male, decent shape. That term life insurance be over the next 10 years, probably be something in the range of $50 a month for a $150,000 policy, maybe 200,000. I'll make it $200,000. $200,000 policy, $50, 10 years, every month for 10 years. It's relatively cheaper because a lot of people think the insurance company knows that the odds of you dying between 30 and 40 are slim. So they'll take a chance on that. Okay. Then you have what's called whole life. Whole life. So it's over the next, you're 30 years old, you might live to be 75 over the next 45 years if you're 30. So now they know, wow, this guy is with us for life. We're going to take this policy, and we're pretty much going to have to try to make our money out of this guy until he's, he's going to be with us for life. So we're going to charge a little more. So now that policy, instead of $50 a month, because it's not over the next 10 years, it's over the next 45 years, they're going to charge you about $1.50. 125, 135, 150. I'll just make it 150 just to make it easier. For the same $200,000. Okay? For the same $200,000. 150 to 50, that's a big difference. But the average person, they're just like, okay, I keep it for the rest of my life, but in 10 years, I don't have to renew it. But what's crazy about term, if you go that 10 years, now you're 40. Now your policy going to go up. Now it's going to be like, $120 for the next 10 years. So 40 to 50 is 110. But at 50, they know you're going to die soon. So now your insurance policy is damn near $250, maybe $300 for half the amount. You know what I mean? So you can take a chance, or you can go ahead and get whole life. But the term will be more expensive as you go along. Okay. Next is IULs, or the insurance policy you pay into, and you borrow money against it after 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, or whatever it is. Anybody want to take a guess? If you was 30 years old and you wanted an insurance policy that's $200,000 or $300,000 that you can borrow against in 5 years or 10 years or something like that. If you want to throw a number out and you tell me what you think the policy costs. If a term next 10 years is 50, whole life at 30 is about 125 to 150. How much do you think the IUL is going to be? And this is coming from people that I know for sure that's done it. I know 100%. I am good friends with a guy who does IUL, and I kind of broke down the numbers to him wise, and he's like, "What?" I said, "Yeah, man." I know 3 guys, and they was paying about the same amount. One guy was 40, the other guys was in their 30s. They were spending $900 to $1,200 a month for an insurance policy that they can borrow against. $900 to $1,200 for an insurance policy that they can borrow against. So now we know what we get. Now we know the cost. Which one is more beneficial? Is it more beneficial to pay $150 for the rest of my life And in the insurance policy, they're going to pay me $250,000 when I'm dead. Or is it more beneficial to invest the 50 in insurance policy for the next 10 years and do something else with the money? Or is it more beneficial to pay $900 to $1,200 a month and be able to borrow against it in 5, 10, 15, in next 5, 10 years? So what I did is I broke it down numbers wise, because, regardless of what person's trying to sell me this crap or what insurance company's trying to tell me this or tell me that, at the end of the day, it's just numbers. It's just numbers. First of all, what I'll do is, real quick, I'll take the whole life versus term. $50 versus $150. Okay. Let's say you start at 30. Okay. 30 years old. You have zero in the pot. 30 years old. Let's say you live to be 70. I don't damn know. 70. So that's 40 years, right? After 40 years, if you just got term life insurance and the extra $100 a month you put into the policy for the next 40 years, okay? You got term life insurance, you put the $100 extra into a retirement account or ETF, mutual fund, IRA, something like that. The $100 after 40 years, a month, $100 a month for 40 years, you will have in that index fund, if you invest in the S&P 500 average, you will have $1.9 million. When you die. And then a lot of people say, well, I'll just, well, my parents nobody won't get that money from my death benefit. Like, yeah, they'll get 1.96552.62 million dollars, almost $2 million. And let's do this. Let's say instead of the IUL, you just got the term and just did it for 10 years. Okay? So you got a $250,000 policy term at 30 years old, $50 a month. And instead of you putting the $1,200 to a IUL, whatever the hell that shit is, let's say you took the $1,150 difference and you invested it yourself for just the 10 years. Just the 10 years. So now you invest in $1,150 for 10 years. Over that 10-year period, it will be $300,000, $302,000. But your life insurance policy is worth $200,000, $250,000. But you took the extra $1,000 and you invested it. So now you're 40 with $300,000. And then your term life insurance expired. So you can either do this. You can get more term life insurance, or you can just give your family the $304,000 if you die. Or you can keep paying $1,200 into a pot to borrow money from an account. Borrow from an account, mother trucker, borrow from yourself. You made $300,000 in 10 years by putting up $1,000 a month. Why would you borrow from a company? You pretty much made your own UIL. Now you can borrow against your retirement account. You can borrow against your stock. I don't know if you know that. You can go to the bank and say, hey man, I got $304,000 in an ETF or a mutual fund or a stock or whatever the hell you put this in. I'm gonna use it for collateral for a loan. Well, how much you need? Well, how much you giving? We can give you 90% of the value. 90% of $300,000 is $270,000. So now you get a loan from the bank for $270,000 while keeping your $304,000 in the account. So now you got $304,000 in the account. That's still gonna be making interest. So I'll put 304 for the next 20 years because you're not touching it. You don't have to contribute nothing else. You're done contributing with that to that shit. When you're 40 to 60, 40 to 60, it'll be $4.5 million in that account. And you took a loan out on it. So now you can use that to either buy some real estate, buy a business, buy a storage unit, use that for the down payment, buy some apartments, buy some property, commercial property, residential property. Instead of me going out and asking this insurance company, yo, man, I need to borrow some money. And then what's crazy is if you go to them and ask them for the money, they charge you a penalty. They charge you a fee to take your own money out. So what do we learn here, people? Why do what an insurance company can do for you when you can just do it yourself? People ask me, yo, Mr. Richard, how much insurance you got out? None. How much life insurance you got? None. Knock on wood. Because if I'm gone, I got so much in assets. That's my insurance policy. I mean, a funeral is what, 10 grand? I got that in my damn savings account. I mean, you take the money, this is what I would do. I can't tell y'all what to do because I'm not a financial advisor. This is what I would do. I'll get the cheapest life insurance policy and take all the difference and put it to work. Real estate, mutual funds, ETFs, stocks, whatever. Working on my credit, building my business credit. That's what I would do. Take all the money that I make, get the cheapest life insurance policy, and then when that term life insurance is up, it should be, if you did it right, it should be the equivalent of what your life insurance policy would have been after that 10 years, if you did it right. But a lot of people don't know where to start. A lot of people don't know how to do it. A lot of people get nervous. A lot of people get scared. Or a lot of people feel like life trumps lifetime decisions, which is kind of crazy. I mean, I have that debate with people all the time. Is that people will tell me, yo, man, I had, $37,000 saved up. I had $100,000 saved up. I had $43,000 saved up. But XYZ happened. No, that just shows me you're not disciplined. I mean, I guess shit happens, but shit always happens. Shit happens to rich people. Shit happens to middle class people. Shit happens to lower class people. The only difference is rich people and wealthy people, they don't sell the barn. They don't sell the car to pay for gas. We don't sell the barn to buy a cow. I mean, that's about as simple as it gets. And I hate to be a butthole about it, but I'll see people that'll say, yo, man, I had a whole bunch of savings, but my car is about to get repoed. Man, that car. Buy another one. There's hundreds of car dealerships down the street. Well, I don't want to mess up my credit. I mean, you spend $40,000 so your credit don't get messed up. We can fix your credit. We can't all of a sudden gain $50,000. Unless it's a foreclosure on your house, most stuff can be fixed, right? Because you got equity in the house and you need a place to live. If it ain't a foreclosure on your house, don't sell the farm. Don't sell the car for gas money. Don't sell the baby for diapers. It's about as simple as it gets when it comes to that type of stuff. It's just about discipline and being consistent. That's it. But I don't want to harp on that subject too much longer. But that's just my personal opinion on life insurance. If you start buying stuff that makes you enough money whenever you're gone, the amount of money you're making or have money amount of money you've made will outweigh most life insurance policies. Now they might got to pay some capital gains tax or some sales tax or something on that when they sell it, unless you set it up right. Let's say if you have that $300,000, you put it into account over the next 20 years. Now you got $4.5 million. Why don't you put that in a living revocable trust? Now that money is in a trust, and your spouse and your kids are the beneficiaries of that trust. So now, whenever you do pass away, now that lawyer or that arbitrary or that judge won't seize that asset. You can tell them, hey, man, piss off. This account is set up properly. And then you receive interest on that $4.5 million a year, which is $566,000. $566,000 at 60 years old every year for the rest of your life. And when you're gone, your spouse will get $577,000 a year for the rest of their lives. And then your kids will get $577,000 for the rest of their life. Then their kids' kids get $577,000 for the rest of their lives because you put it up in a trust. That's why it's called a trust fund baby, because they receive a check for the rest of their lives that they don't have to do shit for, because their parents or their grandparents or their great-great-grandparents made a couple of smart financial decisions, didn't buy a stupid ass Hellcat, and put that money to work. You know, if I'm on my deathbed and I'm thinking to myself, man, I was the coolest kid in America about 30 years ago when I got that Hellcat, or man, I'm surrounded by family, friends, loved ones, and they're gonna be happy as hell when I'm gone because they're gonna get a fat ass check for the rest of their life. It's your choice, people. It's your choice, right? We all make decisions. Some of them not the best. But this is the type of things that we talk about in my coaching group and in the free webinar. Click the link in the bio, click my name, and it'll say a website, sign up. It's coming up here soon, so sign up and I'll see you there. If you like talking about this type of stuff, I'll sit here and talk about money all day. So I mean, but that's just my opinion on life insurance policy, right? If you have a bulletproof trust fund that's in an ETF, you can almost get away with not having life insurance. And then if you really wanted to be serious, you can almost take the trust money, which is $500,000, and buy life insurance on everybody in the family. And whenever somebody passes away, the life insurance money just goes into the pot. That's what a lot of rich people do. The life insurance, the interest from the mutual funds or the ETFs or the index funds, the profit will pay for life insurance for everybody, which kind of makes sense if you think about it. And whenever you die, the family benefits from the life insurance, not one specific person. It just goes into the trust. The trust gains interest, and the interest is paid out to the family over their lifetime. That's how it works. You like talking about this kind of stuff? I'll sit here all day and talk about this stuff, but I try not to. Somebody said, "What kind of business can I buy for 150,000?" Brother, you're rich and don't even know it. Hey, y'all loud. The $150,000. So $150,000 using a SBA 7A loan at 10% down can get you probably up to $1.5 million. If you're doing, I'll even make it $1 million. Let's keep $50,000 to yourself for some strange reason. If you do it right, you can use $100,000. If you do it even righter, which is not even a word, you can do it $50,000. SBA 7A loan requires 5% or 2.5%, which would be $25,000. If you're doing 33% margins, you could probably do about $300,000 of cash flow. I call it 350. You can do 350 cash flow. And with that $350,000 cash flow, after you pay yourself back and pay the bank back and the government back, you could probably do about $200,000 a year of cash flow, which breaks down to about $18,000 a month if you do it right. But I don't know you, I don't know where you live, I don't know your risk tolerance, but that's the type of stuff that we talk about. And that's the type of stuff that I like showing people, right? I think business acquisition is one of my specialties. I've been doing it a while. I'm pretty good at it. I'm super efficient at it. And I almost can calculate it off the top of my head, which is kind of weird on how to buy a business numbers wise on top of your head. The numbers, I can break down the numbers of pretty much any business, but what I can't break down is what you want to buy. Because I'll meet people that'll say, I want a laundromat. And then they'll get to look and I'll show them the places to look and I'll show them how to properly evaluate. And they're like, man, a lot of these laundromats suck because it's almost like I'm trying to give you a good analogy. It's like a hot, it's like a hot shoe or a hot car. Like Cybertruck's the best example, right? Cybertrucks when they first came out, supposed to be 89,000. And then they went up to 99,000. And then you saw them on the market, they hit the market, then they went up to damn near $200,000. But over time, they started going back down 200, 190, 180, 160, 155, 140, 130. And they just kept going back down. Now they're damn near back to what they normally cost because there was a huge demand for them. I think when it comes to laundromats, it's the same thing. Everybody, when I ask them what kind of business they want, the first thing they say is laundromats. I don't know why. I don't know because somebody on this damn internet keeps telling people about these damn laundromats. I'm not gonna say her name, but we know who she is. She's my arch enemy. She don't even know I exist, but she will. and 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 then they'll get to looking at these damn things and they're like, these shits are overpriced. And I'm like, yeah, they are overpriced. Why do you want this crap anyways? Man, because that's what everybody say they want. And then they get to looking at other stuff and it's like, wow, this pig farm is doing pretty good. It's like, do you want a pig farm? It's like, not really, but hell, it makes a lot of money. All right, so let's look into it. And then now they own a pig farm. Here's what it is. They thought they wanted something, and then a lot of people are in love with the idea of owning something that they can brag about. I'll meet people and they'll say, I want this boutique. I want this nail salon. I want a dry cleaners. Oh, I want a laundromat. I want a vegan juice bar. And I'm like, do you really want a vegan juice bar? Or you just want to tell people you got a vegan juice bar? Do you really want a laundromat? Or you just want to tell people you have a laundromat? Because I think a lot of times people will just say they want some stuff, but they really don't want it. They're just saying it because they think it's cool to have it, not the fact that they really want it. If I told you statistically, dry cleaners make more money than laundromats, but dry cleaners are like, I want a dry cleaner. Or just like if I told you that mom and pop pizza places make more money than Little Caesars. But you know what's cool? Telling people you own a Little Caesars. Not, I own a pizza place. I own a pizza shop. Anybody can say I got a pizza shop. But to tell people you got a Little Caesars, like, man, I'm cool. Man, you got a Little Caesars. I own a Dunkin' Donuts. Dunkin' Donuts, damn near ain't good businesses to own. They require a lot of overhead. The franchises take a lot of money. And the profitabilities aren't that high. They're not that good. But people want to tell people I own a Dunkin' Donuts. I go in here every week. I get my frap latte. I check on my employees and I leave because they think it's cool. fuck cool. Let's get to the money. Let's focus on the money. Once you start looking at the money aspect of some of this stuff, then you'll realize, because I meet a lot of people, it's the day they sign up. Yo, man, I'm ready to go. Cool. Watch these 5 videos. And they'll come back to me and it was like, or I ask them, what business are you interested in? And it's always the same shit, right? The pretty businesses, the cool businesses to own. I say, watch these 5 videos before we even talk. They'll watch the 5 videos and they're like, yeah, what business are you interested in now? Shit, I don't even know, man. Your whole perspective will change because you'll look at them things and like, these aren't even that good. People just buy them because they think they're cool, but they're really not. But you got to learn that type of stuff. Say word, word. Someone said, let's focus on credit. Let's talk about credit. Someone said they like my swag. Well, first of all, I'm always swag. But like the Lacoste, it's older. Back when I was about 160 pounds, now I'm like 195 solid. But it still fit. It still does its thing. Anyways, let's talk about credit since that's one of my pillars that I focus on. So anybody who don't know the pillars, who are new here, I'll focus on four major pillars: credit and everything to do with credit. So credit, business credit, personal credit, credit score, credit utilization, uh, credit profile, business credit, business structure, LLC, EINs, S corp, C corp, sole proprietorships, uh, setting up everything that's attached to your business to get business credit. If you want to do trade lines, if you want to do net 30s, that's just trash. I don't even focus on that no more. But if you want to do any of that stuff, that's all another thing. Then my second pillar is investing. Stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, uh, Roths, TSP, just everything that you can do with investing, right? The different apps you can invest into, the different apps that you can use, the different mediums, the easiest way, the simplest way, reoccurring payments, recurring investments, all that kind of stuff. Then my third pillar that I focus on is real estate. Uh, Single family home, your primary home. Let's focus on investment property. Let's focus on duplex, quadplex, fourplexes. Let's focus on commercial buildings. Let's focus on, and then we'll focus on how to acquisitions of real estate. Acquisition is just a fancy word to buy something. Disposition is just a fancy word on selling something. So acquisition of real estate, buying, right? So you can do owner financing, you can do sub two, you can do seller financing, you can do section 8, you can do wholesaling, you can do bird dog, you can do flipping, you can do, oh man, uh, tax liens, tax deeds. Um, I mean, dude, I can go on for hours. And I can, what's crazy about it is you can pick one main subject and I will just talk about it for 3 hours because I could just been doing it so long. I'm not reading a script. I mean, I'm looking at a YouTube video and a financial chart right here and a screen with myself on it. I mean, it's just, you do it for so long. That's just what you do. Then also we talk about ownership of businesses and processes that make you cash flow, right? Owning the business, absentee business, semi-absentee, owner occupied. You could talk about storage unit. You could talk about Airbnb. You could talk about um, you want to get into Turo. You want to get into, I mean, dude, whatever, whatever you want to get into, that's what we break down, and that's why we're here, and that's why we learn. Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna switch over to a site and see what's going on. Someone asked on how to get your utilization down. That's we're talking about credit, so we'll talk about that. So whenever it comes to credit, you have different credit factors, and you know what's cool is I had a guy asking me this a while back, and I kind of broke it down for him in a similar style, and he was like, "Damn, that shit was right," because I did exactly what you said, and my score shot up. And I was like, "I don't have to lie. I mean, this is just the way it works." You know, a lot of people, you know, in most of these segments don't talk about what you need to be doing. They just kind of like gatekeep and then trying to then sell you the game, which I gotta respect their hustle, but a lot of times you can just look this stuff up. You just don't know where to go to look for this stuff, and I just been a lot of misinformation out there. So, anyways, whenever you focus in on your credit, you have two sides of your credit, right? You have credit profile, and then you have your credit score. Your credit score is just a reflection of your overall credit health, but your credit profile is how much credit you have to how much credit do you have out amongst other people, right? If someone has a $300 credit card and someone has a $300,000 credit card, well, I won't say 300, a $30,000 credit card, the credit profile of the guy with the $30,000 is stronger than the guy with $300. So you need to work on them both. You need to work on your credit score, and you need to work on your credit profile, credit utilization. So you have debt to income ratio and you have credit utilization. So you gotta know the difference between that too. Credit utilization, debt to income ratio is more so for like buying houses or buying cars, more so housing. It's just how much money you bring in versus how much debt you have. Credit utilization is pretty much the one of the main factors for your credit score. So if you have high credit utilization, anything over 30%, your credit score is going to shoot down. They say 10%, 30%, 50% are your levels. So if you below over 50, your score is going to be the worst. Anything below 50 but above 30 is going to be a little better, but still not that good. Anything below 30, you're going to start getting a little better credit score. Anything below 10, your score on utilization wise is maxed out. So one, you need to get your utilization on your credit cards down, and it only pertains to revolving debt, not your cars or your house or any type of other debt that you have. It's typically credit card usage. So when people say that, they come to me and they say, "Yo, I paid off my car. My credit score stayed the same," or something like that. I say, "Shit, your credit score going to drop because now that credit profile with that long credit on it, long credit payments on it is going to drop now because it's going to fall off your credit. So, or that account is going to be closed. But you should have just took the extra money and paid down your credit card bill. Well, how much credit card bills you got? Well, I owe $10,000. Well, what's your balances? 15,000. Well, that makes you 66%. 66% is higher than 50. You got to get below 50, then below 30, and then below 10. Right? I don't care if you pick up extra hours at your job. I don't care if you start a side hustle, which I can help you with that. I don't care if you start a little side business and making extra money. I don't care. But you got to get some extra money coming in because that's how you get it done. Okay. So whenever you talk about credit, that's the type of thing you focus on. I do offer credit repair because if you do whatever else, the other stuff that's on your credit profile is credit, negative inquiries. So delinquencies, late payments, repos, medical bills, baby mama payments, or some shit like that. If that stuff on your credit and you haven't been paying on it, then you have to get those stuff off. Which there's consumer laws that help you fight to get some of that stuff off, right? Which you can do it yourself, or I can help you do it. So if you're interested in credit repair, click the link in the bio, join the free, I think it's Be Your Own Boss class. Sign up, and I'll see you there. All right. But someone said, with an extra $1,600 a month in my pocket, yeah, brother, you gotta put that to work. One thing that I like to focus on is taking your short-term money and making it long-term money. You got to take the money that you earn and make it work for you. If a dollar comes into your house, you can either do one or two things with it. You can take it, you can go spend it, or you can train it or put it somewhere else to go out and go find more money, right? And then after 5 months, 6 months, 3 months, whatever the hell you do, it's going to come back. It's going to have a buddy and a girlfriend and some couple kids, and you're like, "Hey, what's going on? I like your little family, but let's go out and make more babies. Send them back out." Or you can just take it and spend it on some bullshit and it's gone. So, and then a lot of people always talk about I have no extra money. Everybody has extra money. Everybody. If I looked at your finances, I can look at your debit card statements for the last 4 or 5 months, and I will rip that shit up. I'll get a highlighter and highlight every bullshit expense that you spent on it. And like, don't lie to me because I don't care, right? How many times you ate out this month? It's, how many times you ate out in the last 30 days? Some people I know eat out every day. When I was in the military, I know people that ate out every day. Every day. I have one buddy, I'm not gonna say his name. He might be watching, which I doubt, but he ate out 2 to 3 times a day. And he said he hated the way home cooked food tastes. But I tell you what, he was broke 5 days before payday. Every payday. We got paid the 1st and the 15th. It'd be like the 14th. It'd be like the 10th. Hey, rich man, I need like $100 to the 15th. I was like, yo, man, you just gonna go out and buy food, man. He's like, yo, I can't, man. I can't eat this, man. I said, and then it wasn't even like McDonald's, right? I can understand if he was like, let me get a quarter pound, like a McDouble and a small fry. No, that dude was going out and getting like hibachi chicken and Mongolian chicken and, shrimp hibiscus and all kind. I was like, bro, you eating lobster tails, man? Of course. And he didn't learn. Some people don't. But I promise you, I can look at a lot of y'all finances and find money. Second thing is entertainment. Going out to eat. I wouldn't say going out to eat. Going to the movies, going to the clubs, going to the bars, sports gambling, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, cable, basketball games, football games, soccer games. Well, Mr. Rich, I'm going to be bored as hell. You want to be bored and rich or broke as hell and living your best life? You pick your struggle. You can complain about being broke or you can complain about being bored. I'm bored all day long. I'm the boringest person you'll ever meet. I go nowheres. I does nothing. You know what I do for fun? I got an electric bicycle and I drive up and down my street when I'm bored. Sounds like fun, right? I wake up, I go to the gym, I come home, freshen up, talk to the missus a little bit. I come in this office and I start handling business. About 4 or 5 o'clock, I go ride my scooter for 20 minutes, listen to whatever music I want to listen to, come back in, I keep going again till 11, 12 o'clock at night, maybe 1, 2 in the morning. Go to bed, do it all again. Every day. Every day. Every day. I got all the channels in the world, all the subscriptions in the world. Don't even watch that shit. Don't need it. Don't care. Because my objective is not that. I've been living below my means so long that when I do have the opportunities and the affordability to do it, you're not going to want to do it. Right? But I tell you what, when LeBron James or somebody coming to town or Kansas City Chiefs coming to town or something, oh man, I want to see Patrick Mahomes. I go to the missus and say, yo, go get Chiefs tickets. She already know where we're going. She already know what if I go in there and I'm like, why didn't we get those rows down there? She's like, oh, they was already sold out. Okay, cool. Or we're in the press box, or we're in the locker room. Right? Elton John came to town, we're backstage. Snoop Dogg came to town, we're backstage. Wiz Khalifa came to town, we're backstage. Taylor Swift came to town, Taylor Swift was rough. Taylor Swift was was a monster, dog. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. But kids want to see Taylor Swift, they go see Taylor Swift. Childish Gambino and I think somebody else coming to concert here soon. We going backstage, right? Hey, what's going on? Let me get a quick photo. Huge fan. Cool. Deuce. I'm not in the nosebleeds. I'm not in the house sitting in the standing room only, because I rarely do that stuff. But when I do it, it's on, because I make so much money grinding 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. every day. Monday, I rarely take vacations. Don't care about it. Don't need it. When I do take vacations, all exclusive, right? I'm flying first class. I'm staying in the best hotels, all that stuff. I'm not bragging. I'm just showing you that there's other ways of doing it, and you doing it wrong. You're working to live mediocre versus working to invest to make more money to live your wildest dreams. You're doing it right, but you're missing a few steps. So the average person walks in my door, I'm gonna look at them, I'm gonna say, how much money you make a year? I make $50,000. Cool. Let me see your expenses. How much money you got saved up? Nothing. How much investments you got? Nothing. Well, why aren't you investing? I don't have enough. Cool. Let me look at your finances. It says here you got a $1,200 pickup truck. Yeah, I need a vehicle to get back and forth to work. A $1,200 pickup truck? Okay, cool. Your spouse got a vehicle too. Yeah. She worked? No. Well, how much is her car payment? This is Durango. It's $400 a month. So you spend $1,600 a month in car payments. Yeah, that's $22,000 a year. Let's say you put that $22,000 a year into an ETF, wait 10 years, it'll be almost $500,000. Is your car worth $500,000? You driving that fucking truck is worth $500,000 in 10 years from now. You say yes. I say hell no. There ain't a car in the world that's worth $500,000 driving. It ain't enough cool points in the world for somebody that don't even know me to say, man, you're a cool guy. I love your car. I don't give a shit what you think about my car. You don't see the hours that I put in to drive that shit. Right? It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. And besides, what's crazy about really cool cars, people all want to do is lean on your cars and take pictures and fuck with it. It's annoying. But I'm rambling. I am rambling. So let's get to some preguntas, questions. The moral of the story is, people, that y'all all have fat that y'all can cut. But I don't think a lot of people want to do that. I think a lot of people they like the ideal of being an entrepreneur. They like the ideal of being wealthy and rich, but they don't want to put in the work. But one thing about me, anybody who's in the program, or anybody who does a one-on-one with me, or anyone that does a consultation with me, or anybody that ever meets me, and I'm a deep dive, and I'm gonna just look at you like this. How much? And then this is what's crazy about people's money, is when you tell them that that's not right, they'll literally almost get mad at you for like justifying their lifestyle. It's like, yo, bro, you spend $400 a month on eating out. Oh, I got to have that. You spend 25, you spend $75 a month on something. Oh, no. See, you don't understand. See, I don't do nothing else. I have to have that. I have to. You have to have a Mercedes Benz. You have to have Netflix. You have to have eating out every other day. See, my office don't have a refrigerator, and we have to buy food at the lobby, and it's $15 a day. I can't not eat. Because the bad part about it is, for those who don't know me, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis if y'all new here. I was in the military for 21 years. One thing about military people, they blow their money. Red Bulls, Monsters, and eating out at lunch every day. Every day. And I would almost envy people, which you shouldn't do, but people will come back with their lunches and they'll get like Mac Daddy Hibachi, Mac Daddy Sushi Cafe. And I'm just like, God dang. How much was that? Oh man, this was $15, $14. And I mean leftover pork chops or some shit. I mean, it is what it is, man. And now look at me. Not motherfuckers like that, still struggling. But that $15 I was taking, I was investing. The Netflix, I was investing. The cable, I was investing. The NFL package, oh, I gotta watch sports. ESPN package, I'll be investing. I'll catch the highlights on my cell phone. Okay, you missed the game. So then what? Now, this is what's crazy. I missed out on sports for like the last 15 years. Now, I got an invite to be a co-owner of the Atlanta Falcons. Now I can go to every game for free. It's crazy. It's crazy work. Crazy work. You want to watch the games and be cool, or you want to be a co-owner of the team? Your choice, people. Your choice. You got to make the decision, though. You got to make the decision. And then whatever you do with the extra money is your decision, too. What I like to do is I pay the house first. One rule in my house when it comes to finances, I get paid first. When money comes into my pot, I don't pay my electric bill first. I don't pay my house first. I don't pay my water first. I don't pay none of that shit. When money comes in, I get paid first. It goes to an ETF, mutual fund, IRA, buying more real estate or buying more businesses. And I'm somewhere in the range of $50,000 to $90,000 a month of repaying myself back. This is not a game, people. You start doing the math on that. It's nuts. It's nuts. But hey, what do I know? What do you think of 401ks? 401ks are good. 401ks, if they match, I always get into a pissing match whenever people talk about 401ks. So, hold on, I gotta see what's going on over all my channels. Welcome in, everybody. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. What's happening? I see you. Twitter, Twitch, TikTok. I see you. What do I think about 401k? 401k is good if they match. If they don't match, because your 401k payout is going to be between 8 to 10, maybe 11 on a good one. If they match, it's free money. But a lot of people will always argue with me talking about, yeah, you're paying the government. Boy, shut up. They're giving you free damn money. A lot of people hate the fact that our 401k reduces the income from the corporation that you paid for. And it's just almost like, bro, I don't give a shit what it's reducing. Man, you should pay into your 401k because your 401k, the company you work for gets a tax benefit whenever they do that. Okay? They're giving me free money. If I put $10 into a pot and they put $10 into the pot, how much you made? You made $10. What percentage of that? What percentage of return is that? That's 100%. So why the hell am I complaining about their taxes? I don't give a shit about that company. Whenever I leave, I'm gone. I don't give a damn about that. Shit, company gonna use your ass anyways. Hell, talk about how much the company makes off your ass in labor. It's probably about a 10 to 12% ratio. So if they pay you $10, they're making $100. Talk about, if you're gonna bitch about something, bitch about that. Bitch about the fact that you can own the process. If you own the process and you made the $90 and you gave somebody else $10, complain about that. Complain why you don't own the process instead of, man, I put $100 into a pot and they gave me $100, but they're reducing their taxable income. Dude, shut up. You know how dumb you sound? I don't know. People just weird, right? If they're gonna give me the free money, I'll take it. But if they're not giving me no free money, cool, I'll do it myself. I came in late. Well, welcome. Do you think it's a good idea? Do you think it's good to build an Airbnb in the backyard of my rental? Maybe. Depends on how cheap you can build it. You know, Airbnbs are kind of washed up. This is just my personal opinion. I give it a few years, man, and these industries are going to dry up. They're probably not going to dry up, but they're not going to be as dominant as they was. Airbnb, VRBO, and Turo, because these companies have projections, and when they don't meet their projections, they raise their prices. And when they raise their prices, the consumer and the host feel the pinch. And then it becomes to a point where it's not worth it. You know what I mean? So let's say, for example, the same thing with um, Uber and Lyft aren't there yet. But whenever the Tesla Uber CEO company thing comes out, then Tesla, then Lyft and Uber are going to be the same thing. And I'm gonna break that down to you too in a sec. Just bear with me. So for example, let's say if a hotel room is $200, but the Airbnb is $150. And then you say, well shit, I can just book the Airbnb. I save $50. But then you book the Airbnb, and then like the person who's hosting it, Airbnb might take $30 fee, right? But then not a lot of people are doing Airbnb anymore. So now the Airbnb fee goes from $30 to $60. Well, then the guy was like, well, shit, now I got to raise my prices just to make up for the Airbnb. I make up for the Airbnb fee. So now they go from 150 to 180, right? But then whenever you check out, instead of you paying just tax, you pay like a cleanup fee, a service fee, an Airbnb fee. And now instead of you paying $200 for a room at the hotel, your $180 Airbnb, try to save $20, 9 fees. Now you end up spending like $230, $240. You're like, well, fuck, I could have just stayed at the hotel. So now, Airbnb is doing that a lot with people. So now the fee for Airbnb, VRBO, and Turo is like that because their objective is to make as much money as possible. And whenever their stock or their sales are down, they got to maintain their upkeep. So what they do, they charge more fees to the consumer and then the host. And from what I've gathered from a lot of people who own a lot of Airbnb or either a lot of Turo cars, a lot of people aren't going to the sites anymore. The same thing with Turo. People aren't renting there anymore or not renting there as much because one, Turo, I mean, think about it. How often do you see Turo? How often do you see Turo commercials or advertisement? I don't see any. So people aren't even using that app, and then they're overpriced. So, you know, so now people aren't using them as much. They got to raise their prices. I think Turo, I get Turo about a year and a half, 2 years. I think Turo's gonna be dead. That's just my personal opinion. And would you cry if I told you that lie? Would you say goodbye? Would you let it whine? Someone said, could I turn 100K into $1 million without waiting 30 years? Yeah. If you put 10% down on $1 million business and the business is worth $1 million, now it turned into $1 million. You do that in 2 months. But a lot of people focus on the wrong thing. And I'm gonna break this down for y'all, man. And I hope whoever's listening take notes. If you don't listen to shit I say, listen to this. The amount of money that you have is irrelevant. It's just a number. It's just a vanity metric. I'll even make it super easy. Having $1 million is like having 15 cars. What's the point? You only can drive one. But the one you drive the most, how is it benefiting your life? Okay? I just use that as an example, but I'll explain what I'm saying. $1 million in the bank, I'll give you $1 million cash, or I'll give you $10,000 a month for the rest of your life. Which one do you want? And a lot of people say, oh, I'll take the $1 million. That's a typical answer. You take the $1 million to go out there and I'll take the $1 million, I'll go out there and make XYZ. I'll flip that. You're not gonna flip shit. I'll go out there and do this and do this and do this. Why go out there and do it when it's already done for you? Why take the $1 million when the $10,000 will support you for the rest of your life? Why take a Lamborghini when a Honda will support you the rest of your life? Why take a supermodel? Why take a 10 when the 6.5 will clean your house, take care of your kids, feed you, do the laundry, all that kind of stuff for you, right? Supermodel ain't gonna do shit. The $1 million ain't gonna do shit for you. The $10,000 will feed you for the rest of your fucking life. For the rest of your life. Most people can live off $10,000 a month. I can't live off $10,000. Bro, shut up. You're living off $10,000 a month now. It'll probably damn near be double your income. So, moral of the story is, individual stated, how do I turn 100K into $1 million? Better question. How do you turn 100K into a paycheck that you can live off of for the rest of your life? Fuck the $1 million. Now, if you want to get into that, that's my specialty. You hang with me and start rolling with me for about a month, you'll see a clear path. You just got to do it. You will see a clear path. You will see the path. You that see the path. Will the SBA give you a business loan if you've never had a business before? Great question. Great question. The answer is yes. Yes, they will give you a business loan without owning a business before. You just got to prove to them that they're going to get their money back. It's like anything, man. If you know what you're doing, and you know what you're talking about, and it makes financial sense, and you talk to the right people, yes, you can get a business loan without owning a business. But they do like you to have experience in the industry that you're purchasing in. And the SBA, so there's multiple different types of SBA loans. More than likely, you're talking about buying an existing business. If you're buying an existing business and you have no experience running that business, there's ways around that. So you just got to know how to do it. Do I think the fundraising real estate app? So fundraising app is called a REIT. REITE. So what that means is I give them money. They put into a pot. They go buy some real estate. The cash flow comes in, and they pay me some dividend or pay me some interest. Yes, you can do that, or you can just buy your own real estate, and you make all the money. Instead of you getting 10% on your money, you can make 50% on your money. Right? Why give a company 20 grand when I can give? Why give a company 20 grand when I can take 20 grand and put down on my own house and make my own money? You know? So if that's what you want to do, but that is an option, but I like options. I like hearing different perspectives. How about a pool business? Pool routes are okay. As long as I'm not doing the cleaning. Building pools can kind of get a little specific. I wouldn't want a pool. I don't know anything about buying. I don't know anything about digging a pool, siting a pool. I don't know anything about it. But if, would I want to take on something like that? That it ain't my specialty. But if you know a lot about pools, then yeah, that would be it. Someone says, I'm so busy watching the live, I never thought to ask you how much the classes are. So I have a free class coming up. The link in the bio. You there? Yeah, I see you. How are you? I'm not to say your name. SEH something. I don't know. I see you on Twitch. I appreciate you being here. Someone said, oh, so it just depends on what you interested in. I have different programs. I have different classes. I have different stuff. So if you want to click the link in the bio, join the free class. It should be joining. It should be, you are great. No, you're great. I'm from, I grew up all in the South. Louisiana, Tennessee, Texas, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida. I never really lived anywhere north of Kentucky, and I never will. I hate the cold weather. Are you talking about the classes that I offer? I don't know where you're looking at it from, but either click the link in the bio, join the free class, and then I talk about, real estate, businesses, credit, getting business funding, um, investing. I mean, we do it all, right? I'm the one-stop shop, which that's what I should change my name. I used to not be the one-stop shop, but I just got tired of people asking me how to do stuff in certain realms, so I just started doing it like that. I'm mad cool. No, you're mad cool. How much is the class? It's free. Click the link in the bio, and if you want to move forward after the class, then I'll show you how to do that. And then we'll go from there. What do you think about dry cleaning businesses? Great question. I love them. Dry cleaning businesses, especially up north, northeast, best places for dry cleaners. Up north and near military bases and near alternation places. High tourist places or wedding destinations and places that public transportation is prevalent. Those typical like denser cities, right? Um, I don't want to go into specific, but like just northeast, anything northeast, man, you should be in there. If I was you, but you can make a decent living with a dry cleaners most places. Is someone said mortgage? I don't know what that means. What's going on? Always with the facts. Of course, I'm always with the facts, man. That's what I try to do. Mm. Someone said, "What can I do with 10?" Yeah, yeah, yeah. What can I do with $10,000? Someone always like 10K is like the universal answer. You're from overseas, man. We stretching. It's kind of crazy. I get on these apps and I get to talking, and I meet people from all over the world. I meet people from UK, um, a lot of Europe, uh, Africa, Asia. I meet a lot of people from Canada. I meet a lot of people from South America, and a lot of people from um, Mexico. But if I had to say any country, Canada a lot. But I've never heard in Africa. That's the first. Appreciate it. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, the universal question that I always get is, what can I do with $10,000? It's like the entry level amount of money that people have. But you have so many different paths that you can take with $10,000. You can do the side hustle thing. You can do the storage unit thing. Not storage unit. You can do the vending machine thing. You can start Turo if you want to do that. You can start a good side hustle like pressure washing, window washing, couch flipping, upcycling. You could also start investing into an ETF or something like that, and just letting it ride until you start saving up a decent amount of money, then borrow against that money, and or you can set up your business structure ETF. No, sorry. Set up your business structure, LLC, S corp, C corp, sole proprietorship, however you want to set it up. EIN, get everything attached to your business. Go open up 3 bank accounts through three different banks, and then go leverage their money, raise their capital, which works. A lot of people always say, "Man, it sounds like it's hard, but it's not. You can do it." Okay, then I see you. But welcome in. I don't get a lot of people from Twitch though. Yeah, once in a while I get people coming in from Twitch. Twitter in the house. I see you. I can start running ads on Twitter, but it is what it is. I gotta start posting more on Twitter too, but it's another story. YouTube in the house. The only one that pays me to be here. Facebook, appreciate you. I don't normally get a lot of people from Facebook, but it's all good. And TikTok is always bumping. Appreciate that. But yeah, you could do a lot with. My thing is, if you had only $10,000, I would go through different options for you, and then you just have to pick. You just got to pick what you want to do and roll with it, man. Because $10,000 is a decent amount of money, but it's not a lot of money, right? You might can even find a business that you can buy, but why buy a $100,000 business with $10,000 down when you can buy $1 million business with $100,000 down because you leveraged and went out there and raised capital. And yeah, Uber Eats is the worst enemy. Yeah, Uber Eats, yeah, Uber Eats is the same thing. I'm telling y'all, man, the Uber Eats, the Lyft, Turo, Airbnb, VRBO, that shit, especially whenever Elon Musk opened up is going to open up another factory. Okay, I'm pre-calling this. When it happens, 5, 6, 7, 10 years from now, you're like, damn, that black mother clucker was on it. They're opening up. The CEO of Lyft, is it Lyft or Uber, left the company to start a business with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is opening up a new facility that is going to specialize in self-driving cars. So let's think about it. Elon Musk, self-driving cars, opening up a facility just to build cars that drive themselves, and working with the technology of Uber or Lyft to find the people. So let me get this straight. This man is going to be building cars. And then this is where it's going to get really good. He's going to get the technology to build self-driving cars. The cars are going to be go pick somebody up and drop somebody off. And now the middleman that they have to pay for the driver, they don't have to have that no more. And this is where it gets good. Let's say if you have a car and you drive your car to work and you work from 8 to 5. Let's say if you turn your car onto like money mode or whatever hell you want to call it. Now your car, instead of sitting there, it has the self-driving capability in it. Now it goes around town and pick up people and drop people off while you're at work. So now you go to work while your car works for you. And let's say on that device, let's say on that car, it had a compartment on it, right? Let's say if the side door, the trunk or something open. So if the car goes drive itself, the little compartment on the side opens up, you put a meal in it and it closes, and then it takes the people their food, and then they just wait for the car, it opens up and they go grab their food and they leave. So now you have Uber, Lyft, Uber Eats for a self-driving car. So now you cut out the middleman for all that shit. Think it's a game. Think it's a game. These people ain't out here playing around with this stuff, man. That whole industry's gonna get disrupted, especially if you're an Uber driver or a Lyft driver. They're gonna come for you. 5 years from now, you won't have a job because everybody say, if I had the option of getting picked up in a 2017 Honda Accord with some smelly dude, or I can get picked up in a self-driving car for the same price. Come on now. I would just want to get picked up in a self-driving car because I thought it was cool, just so I can record my steering wheel as it drives me around. Oh, buddy. Well, y'all ain't got a clue, man. Y'all don't got a clue. What was my MOS? MOS is Army and Marines. I was Air Force, so I was a 2 Alpha. 2 Alpha maintenance. Yeah, if you want to, hey man, I'm gonna say this one more time. You're killing me. If you want to click the link in the bio, join the free class. I start one here soon, really, really soon. So if you want to learn more, we go from there. And then I break down everything. You want a damn sit down? You want a one-on-one call? You want a consultation? Whatever you want, my guy. What kind of side hustles do you have? All of them, my friend. Damn, man. Instagram bumping with the comments. I appreciate y'all. What is your acquisition owner business and the manager quits a week after you own it? What your fail safe? Okay, that's a good question. So let's say if I had a business and someone quits the first day, right? Which that sounds a little far fetched. But if someone quit, like I took over and they hated my guts and they quit it the first day. Well, first of all, the majority of owners have families and they have responsibilities. So more than likely, they're not going to quit. They're going to put in a notice. And if they put in a notice, that means you have time. And then you say, hey, this is what we're going to do. I know you want to quit, or I know you put in your notice, you got 2 weeks. Just give me this, and I don't mind, and then we'll go from there. I'll give you a good referral. If you need anything, you call me and let me know. But what I want you to do is I'm gonna spend the next week trying to find someone to hire, and whenever they come in, just train them how to do your job, and then after that, you're good. Can I at least get that from you? And they say, yeah, sure. And then you spend the week finding somebody. There's people that want work. You just gotta look for it. I would love to own a laundromat, but my luck, they quit. You know what? I don't know. I know you because I know your profile pic, but I'm gonna put you on something, man. You said if I bought a business, what if the manager quit? I would love to own a laundromat, but with my luck. And then you had another question that said, "Oh yeah, you had another question that talked about something else. That's something else indifferent." You said I would love to own a laundromat, but with my luck, the laundromat would quit or the owner would quit. Then you said, I would love to own a business, but if the manager quits the week after I own it, what do I do? Do I have a fail safe? You're, you know what you're doing? You psyched yourself out of your own destiny. You are sabotaging your own success. If you go into a deal, or if you go into a project, or if you go into a new venue or new venture, and the first thing you're saying is, what if something bad happens? You are looking at it from a wrong perspective. You should never look at stuff like that. You should never look at things as worst case scenario. You should always look at things like, man, this is going to be great. This is going to work out. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure it out. And if something does hit the fan, because crap hits the fan all the time, right? I got rental properties. Hey, man, a tenant trashed your place. What do you do? Hey, man, they ain't paid rent in a month. What do you do? Hey, man, someone broke into a unit. What do you do? Hey, man, the leak is roofing. The leak is roofing. The roof is leaking. What do you do? Same thing with businesses. Hey, man, uh, we don't have enough inventory to service this. Hey, man, we your main sales associate quit. Hey, man, uh, the our payroll software is acting up. The people won't get paid for 48 hours. You know, stuff happens. You adjust. You figure it out. You reach into your bag of smarts and then you get to it. You know? I mean, say if your payroll software stopped working for 48 hours, what would y'all do? Give me some answers. You see what I'm saying? Just use your brain for more than a hat rack. Pay them out of pocket. Pay them out of petty cash. You know, tell them that there's an issue and that does anybody have anything pressing, or give them a incentive for being patient. You know what I mean? I mean, it's more than one way to skin a cat. Don't ever think of stuff like that as like the know all be all. You there? Yes. Are you replying? I reply to all sides. All your comments on one feed. It's kind of weird, which I wish I could show you what I see. I have everybody's stuff in one single file line. It's not just you. It's all the people. So on my side of the screen, which is right here, I have a list of everybody that's coming in. Everybody from YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You know what I mean? Sitting up front with a mic, wearing a headphone. All I need is one mic, one mic. Only thing I've had to have was money for bills and to keep my family afloat. Yeah, but I'm sure if I really looked at your finances, you probably could either be making more money and or be cutting the fat. You have unnecessary expenses. But some people, and I get it, some people don't make that much money. And if you don't make that much money, then you need to start doing stuff that makes more money. Let's say if you had a part-time job at the Dollar Tree, I don't know. Let's say you're making $10 an hour, you're working 25 hours a week, that's $250 a week. After taxes, you bring in home $200, that's $800 a week, right? First of all, you're working part-time, you got a lot of time on your hand. What are you doing in your extra time to make more money? If the answer is nothing, then we have a problem. You need a side hustle, a side business. You babysitting, go walk dogs, go mow somebody's grass. People are lazy, and people will pay for your laziness. People will pay you to let them be lazy. Like one thing about me, I hate cutting grass. I hate it. It's just a waste of time to me. So I pay a guy $100 to cut my grass. Right? It takes me 3 hours. And why sit on and mow my grass every week for $3? I can just pay somebody $100 and save my 3 hours. I stopped watching sports 5 years ago. The amount of time you get back is insane. You'd be surprised at how much time you save by not spending on dumb stuff. What's a good platform to invest in? There's tons, man. Robinhood, Webull, Stash, TD Ameritrade. There's tons. Depends on what you want to do. Depends on your preference, though. Sometimes you go straight to the brokerage house and invest straight through them. Should I invest in myself or get a firm or financial advisor? Well, first of all, I don't like financial advisors. They're trash. They just take your money and they offer you shit returns. You can do it yourself. You just got to know what you're doing. That's why people like me exist, because I show you how to do it. And, financial advisors, no, yourself or a firm, but the firm charges a percent. That's why you need to learn the difference between like no loads and loads and or expenditure fees and that kind of crap like that, which I kind of break down. All I need is one mic, one mic. What's happening, brother? Somebody said, I love my Lexus, but it's worth it to me. Let me see your profile pics. All right, my guy. Let me see. Let's say the average new Lexus, sure, I'll put you at 40 grand, right? 40 grand with interest at 8%, that's like 45,000. Say word. $45,000 times 12. Times divided by 3. 45,000. So you pay $40,000 for your Lexus, right? That you happen to love, and then you're gonna add interest on top. That's about $5,000 in interest. That's 45,000 divided by, let's say if you finance that car at 60 months, 5 years. That's $750. You look like a middle-aged guy. I'll put you at, I don't know, 35. I'll even put you at 40, right? So 40 years. So let's say you took the $700. You started out with nothing. Instead of you buying that damn car, you put that $750 a month into a mutual fund ETF that's producing a decent amount that followed the S&P 500 over the last 90 years since the Great Depression. If you just did that, you drove that hoopty, you will have a little over $2 million from when you're 40 to when you're 60 years old. So is your Lexus worth $2 million? I'd rather be cool at the bank. I'll be cool in the Cayman Islands than be cool in a car. I don't know about you. I'd rather be cool in the Cayman Islands, my guy. I got 50K and a decent credit score. Yeah, your credit score is decent. You got to almost focus. Your credit is almost like right on the cusp. You probably got high utilization or something, but something there is like weird. 50K, you can do some work with 50K though. Where to invest my first Roth individual 401k? I'm not going to say your name, but we'll get into it. 401k Roth is through an individual or a corporation. Individual retirement account. You're saying the same thing twice. A Roth is an individual retirement account. An individual account is a retirement account. It's a Roth. Or you're talking about a traditional, not an individual. Traditional is not tax deferred. Roth is tax deferred, and a 401k is through your job. Roth and traditional, you do. 401k, your job does. So you need to go to your job and ask, do y'all offer a 401k? If they say no, then you don't get a 401k then. You go through an IRA or a traditional. Traditional, you pay taxes when you take it out. Roth, you don't pay taxes, or you pay taxes up front and then you don't pay taxes when you pull it out. It's post-tax money versus pre-tax money. But that's a good question. Borrow against the money. We're going to get to a couple more questions, then I got to get off here. I got to do some other stuff. Borrow against your money in the stock market, didn't know that was possible? Yeah. What? Okay, I put like this. Individuals say borrowing against your money in the stock market. I didn't know that was possible. How the hell you think Elon Musk bought Tesla? Bought Twitter or X? You think Elon Musk, say Twitter sold for $40 billion. You think Elon Musk wrote a check for $40 billion? No. You think he sold $40 billion worth of Tesla stocks to buy it? No. He can't even do that. They won't let you do that. If you own a lot of shares of a major corporation, you got to announce that shit like in years in advance, and you only can sell so much stock at so much time. So what people do is, who have a large amount of money, they loan you money against your shares. And the money that he loaned, he said, yo, I want to buy Twitter. It's $40 billion. I need a $40 billion loan. And all these major corporations, Charles Schwab, Fidelity, Merrill Lynch, Goldman Sachs, whoever, they said, well, I'll put $10 billion on it. I'll put $4 billion on it. I'll put $6 billion on it, because they know they're going to get a lot of interest from this dude. Let's say they all put all this money together. He got the $40 billion. He bought Twitter, and the payment on that is probably 0.5% or some crap in interest. But 0.5% of $40 billion probably is a payment of $200 million a month. But if Twitter brings in $350 million a month, he makes $150 million a month. Everybody else get their interest, and Elon Musk get the company. That's how it works, people. That's how you borrow against your stocks. But you don't have to be Elon Musk to do that. Anybody can do that. You can borrow against your 401k. You can borrow against your TSP. You can borrow against your stocks. You can borrow against your ETF. You can borrow against your mutual funds. All that shit, index funds, and that shit. If you have the capital, you can take a loan out against it while your investment is still producing income every month. And if you do it right, now your income that you bought, you use that money to get something to make more money, and now that pot just keeps feeding itself. And that's how you do it. And that's how it's done. If you have if you having money problems, I feel bad for you, son. I got 99 problems and money ain't one. Hit me. All right, so last question, and then we'll probably get off here. Someone said, "Hey, can you help me learn how to get a business acquisition loan?" Something about equity. Without equity? But he kind of lost me on the last part. But yeah, that's one of my specialties. Getting business loans, buying businesses, getting business loans to grow your business, getting business loans to start a business, getting real estate loans to build a house, buy a single house, buy a duplex, quadplex, buy commercial, buy real estate, buy apartments, buy storage units, buy Airbnb, all of that stuff. We talk about that stuff all the time. I don't want to devote too much time to an individual, so I don't like sitting here just breaking stuff down like because it ain't applicable to everybody. Because everybody's story is different, everybody's journey is different. That's why I like to focus, at least here, just on the general stuff. But if you want to learn more about this stuff, I offer a free class that we talk about all this stuff. And if you want to get into the class and learn as much as you can about this type of stuff, that's we go from there. Click the link in the bio, join the free class. Let's get started. About simple as it gets. And I don't sell your information. I don't need it. Don't care. You want to move forward? Let's move forward. And if you don't, oh well. No sweat off my back. But I hope you found value in this stuff. I hope you learned from some of this stuff. And I hope that I gave you a new perspective of a new way to look at some of this stuff, because I hate the expression "you don't know what you don't know," but until you're shown the proper way to do stuff, or the way statistically people have been doing it to get ahead, then you will never learn the proper ways to get stuff. Because when you talk about your dreams, when you talk about your money goals, when you talk about your financial struggles, when you talk to them with people who have limited mindsets, you will get limited answers. If you're talking to a cousin that's broke about starting a business or growing a business, they're going to say the same thing that they was taught from their parents, same thing they learned from school, same thing they learned from their friends who are broke, who also don't have anything. That's why your net worth is your net worth. That's why you need to start associating with and starting talking to people who don't have limited beliefs, who will inspire you to go out there and pursue the things that you want, that will can help you and aid you and point you in the right direction on how to get that next level. Because um, we've all had mentors, we've all learned the game from somebody, and you or I are no exceptions. Someone taught me a lot of this. Someone needs to teach you a lot of this stuff, because we've been taught wrong in school. They don't even talk about anything about investing or real estate or compound interest or ETFs or any of that stuff. A lot of this stuff, terminology you don't probably never even heard of. It seems like every time I say like keywords or certain words, they're like IULs. What the hell is that? ETFs. What the hell is that? Brokerage account. What the hell is that? Index fund. What the hell is that? Term life insurance. What the hell is that? Bird dogging. What the hell is that? Bird strategy. What is that? Because it's almost like I'm lifting off the blinders and I'm trying to get you into a better place because terminology you never heard of is because I'm speaking to a person who's limited in their financial literacy. But once you start learning this stuff and I start talking, everything starts to make sense. You know, I, I'll even give you a quick thing and then I'm out. When I meet people for the first time, I'll give them a 10-question test and I'll ask them these 10 questions. Nobody gets it right. Everybody fails. And then I give them about a 2-hour lecture. And then I'll say, okay, cool, let's take this test again. I wouldn't even give them the answers. I'll just say, what's the answer to this? And they say, I don't know. I was like, yeah, you failed. Hour lecture, 2-hour lecture. And then I ask them the same questions again. 90, 100%. Because you just don't know what you don't know. You have to learn these skills. These skills are taking notes always. Yeah, you have to, you got to learn this stuff because no one's going to teach you. And no one's not volunteering to teach you this stuff. But if you want to learn more, always offer a free class, free webinar that talks about this stuff. Just click the link in the bio and sign up. It's called Be Your Own Boss. And it'll be the best free class you ever signed up for. And we talk about all kind of stuff. But I want to thank my audience and all over the nation. Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, X, Instagram. Appreciate y'all being here. Yeah. Make sure you subbing and liking on all those channels too. Auf Wiedersehen.